Security versus freedom, why we choose stability over risk. Freedom. It's a word we often hear and dream of. Freedom to choose our path, to break away from the norm, to live life on our own terms. But the truth is, most of us end up choosing something very different. We choose security. We choose the predictable, the stable, and the familiar. This is the journey of an average, educated person. It's a life cycle, one that starts in school, leads to a job, and ends in the pursuit of financial security. Along the way, choices are made, pressures are faced, and dreams, both big and small, take shape. The story begins early. As children, we are taught that education is the key to success. We go to school, learn the basics, make friends, and begin to shape our view of the world. But the most important lesson we're taught is clear: success means getting a good education. By the time we reach high school, the future begins to take shape. We study hard, preparing for college, for the moment when we'll leave the comfort of childhood and step into adulthood. We're told that higher education is the ticket to a better life, a life with opportunity, with choice, and with security. The path forward seems clear: graduate, get a job, and start building your future. And so, we take the leap. Graduation marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. We leave school behind, but the pressure remains. The pressure to succeed. To prove that all those years of study were worth it. To find a job, any job, that can provide the security we've been taught to seek. After months of searching, we find a job. It may not be our dream job, but it pays the bills. And that, for now, is enough. We begin to see our financial independence for the first time. The thrill of receiving a paycheck, the freedom to spend money on things we once dreamed of, is intoxicating. With money comes freedom, or so it seems. We spend our earnings on experiences, on possessions, and sometimes, on the things that help us project a certain image. But slowly, the comfort of a stable job begins to feel more like a responsibility than a reward. We start to settle into the rhythm of work. The routine. With time, our priorities shift. The freedom of youth begins to give way to new responsibilities. We meet someone, fall in love, and eventually, decide to start a family. Marriage and children bring new financial burdens. The promise of a secure future is no longer just for you, it's for your family, too. The joy of parenthood is overwhelming, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. To provide for a family, we must work harder. The stakes are higher now. We must ensure that our children get the best education, that they have the opportunities we were promised. The cycle continues: school, work, responsibility. We spend long hours at the office, not just for ourselves, but for the future of our children. One of the greatest symbols of financial security is owning a home. A mortgage becomes the next big step in the cycle. It's a long-term commitment, a decision that locks us into years of payments, but also promises the stability we seek. Purchasing a home feels like a rite of passage. It's a symbol of success, of having made it. But with home ownership comes the weight of responsibility. The mortgage payment is a constant reminder that our choices have long-term consequences. The path toward security requires sacrifices, and often, we must prioritize stability over other desires. The cost of living, the mortgage, utilities, insurance, and school fees for the children, it all adds up. We plan and save, sometimes sacrificing personal dreams and desires to make sure we have enough for the family. The cycle is now well underway. And then, the cycle continues. Our children will grow up in much the same way we did. They will go to school, strive for good grades, and eventually follow in our footsteps, taking on the same responsibilities we did. They will be told that education is the key to success, that a secure job and a stable life are the ultimate goals. We want the best for our children, of course. But in doing so, we often reinforce the very same patterns: go to school, find a job, get married, own a house, and raise children. The idea of financial security is passed down, and with it, the idea that stability is the only path to happiness and success. But what about the dreamers? The ones who wonder if there's more to life than the cycle? Many people are questioning the traditional path. Is there room for freedom, for risk, for following a passion, or is security the only way forward? Some choose to take risks. Some pursue side hustles, investments, or entrepreneurship in an effort to break free from the constraints of traditional work. But the road is tough. Freedom comes at a cost, and often, the risk feels too great when weighed against the promise of security.